everyone, and welcome back to the Interrogation Room podcast. I am one of your hosts, Blake Martin.
I'm the other host, Angie Bloechl.
How you doing today, Angie?
I am pretty good, honestly. It's Friday,
Yeah.
some would say.
Oh,
Yeah.
Friday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. And do you know why I'm doing actually really well?
Why?
Because I'm here with one of my favorite teachers that I've had. Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Are you talking about fan favorite Germantown High School coach and teacher?
Wow. Wow. Are you going to get the award for segues? Because that was really good.
Yeah, I actually have 5, so.
Oh, I have 6. Oh, okay.
Change that.
So who are you talking about again?
I was actually talking about Miss Milmoe.
That's what I was talking about. How you doing, Miss Milmoe?
Good. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. So, we had you on because, this is our first episode, and it's kind of just all about, making connections with the people in Germantown and the community and, knowing more about who lives in our town.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that you live in or around Germantown-ish.
Sure, yes.
Fair enough to assume.
Redacted.
Yes. So, a main topic we're very interested about is you as a teacher in the high school and your role, because you teach Phi Ed, and some more. So we're wondering if you would tell our audience what classes you teach.
So I teach a Team Games 1, which is typically a sophomore level sport class. And then I also teach lifeguard training, which certifies juniors and seniors to be American Red Cross lifeguards.
Do you trust these juniors and seniors after they take the class to protect our beaches?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. Okay, and then another really important aspect about your role here at Germantown is obviously the athletics that you coach as well. So could you tell our audience who may not know you what sports you coach?
Yeah, so I had Angie in the fall with girls golf.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I also coach girls freshman basketball in the winter. And I also run the intramural program here at Germantown High School. So I have a winter basketball program that runs on usually about 10 to 11 teams. That's about 110 kids. And they go through like a round robin tournament. And then I have the scorekeepers and referees are also students here at Germantown High School. And that's a paid position, paid for by the players. And then last spring, we were supposed to start spring ultimate frisbee. But that didn't happen because of COVID. So heard some talks in the hallway and at lunch so far. So hopefully a good turnout in the spring. Yeah.
I would watch ultimate frisbee games, possibly from home.
Oh yeah.
I would totally watch that.
That'd be entertaining,
wouldn't it?
Yeah, that was actually, I think that was one of my favorite units. Did we play that in Team Games 1?
Yes, we did play that in Team Games 1.
It's a team game.
Yeah,
so
absolutely love it.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
So clearly, lots and lots of sports. What would be your favorite to coach? Maybe controversial.
Yeah.
May upset some.
Yeah,
some
right.
Fans.
Yeah. Especially you as a golfer here.
No, I'm objective.
Yeah.
Right
Okay.
now.
I think each sport has its own uniqueness to either play or coach. And from the coaching perspective, I think golf is individual, but a team sport at the end. Every player goes out to score their rounds and they come in, and then to win as a team, you have to, win collectively. Whereas basketball, it's more team-based from the start. And, I think if I had to pick a favorite, golf is, more one-on-one and individual skills, where basketball is, same one-to-one, but also more collectively there, which maybe I could bring into golf as well. However, so unfortunately, I'm partial to the favorites, but yeah.
Sure.
I know.
Sure.
How does that feel, Angie?
Ooh.
I understand. I understand that some would also believe that golf is not technically a sport.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
I'm not naming names, but
Ooh.
some may not take very well to
Ooh.
putting golf above basketball.
I can say that I cannot play either. and I'm impressed by those who can.
I know you can.
So
we all know.
I believe it's a sport. Yeah, the employees at Swing Time driving range absolutely know I cannot. Especially the ceiling of those little like.
Oh, yes.
Oh god.
Well, same.
We may have had a player hit something there once.
That is the vaguest statement.
Yes.
I know what you're talking
One
about.
person may have done a thing one time.
Must stay broad, yes.
Interesting. I guess.
Nope,
Was it a
nope,
player?
wasn't me.
No.
I
No.
never.
Angela hits straight. Or Angie, sorry. Angie hits straight. Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sometimes, I've never done any damage on school time at golf course or driving range.
Okay. Emphasis on school time.
Yeah.
Okay, so something that's really interesting about your relationship with athletics is a lot of people who coach one specific sport and then they have that time off. But it seems like you're coaching year round. So what motivates you to keep going?
Ooh, that's a really good question. You know, I think at the end of the day, it's the kids. And, you know, regardless of win or loss at the end of the season, it's, you know, every day when you show up and the kids are excited to learn, to get better. And I think that's what it's about. And, you know, I would say during quarantine, you know, a lot of people lost the opportunity to play, participate in opportunities that schools provide, you know, team-based, individual-based sports. And myself, you know, it was kind of an opportunity to take a step back. You know, I had a lot of free time these last however many months, and you know, I was starting to get burnt out. And you know, every year it's like, okay, I'll do it for one more year, I'll do it for that group, and you know, year 7 here I am, continuing to do it. And you know, I can't imagine a time where I'm not. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, it's the kids. And I had great role models growing up and as coaches, and hopefully I can provide that for kids here at Germantown as well.
Definitely classic answer for the kids.
Yeah.
For the kids.
Can't go wrong with that one.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so final question revolving your sports and teaching career, I should say. What, if you could, I'm guessing you have interest in other sports, considering, you know, all the involvement you have. So if you could coach another sport, what would it be? Boys, girls, anything?
you know, my favorite sport to watch is women's soccer. So the U.S. Women's National Team, the NWSL, the National Women's Soccer League, huge fan. WNBA, stuff like that. Soccer, maybe. Softball. I played soccer my freshman year of high school, and I played softball sophomore, junior year. I tore my ACL in basketball, so I couldn't play senior year. But softball, I think I would be a better coach at, just because I know more technique, stuff like that. But I don't know. That would be a tough one for me. I think, you know, if an opportunity arose and I was presented with that option, I'm not sure. I have a problem with saying no, so.
So, in summary, the current coach should be worried because you are coming to take their job?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
No.
That was a joke.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so now we have a secondary part of questions. And I think these ones are a little bit more personal and interesting. So something that I think everybody who've had you in class know you for, it's something you talk a lot about, is your relationship to minimalism. So we're going to be asking you some questions about that because some of our viewers might not even know what minimalism is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a perfect segue into, like, what would you define minimalism as to you?
Okay, so I brought this quote. This was the only thing I prepared.
Oh.
So it says, minimalism is a lifestyle that helps people question what things add value to their lives. By clearing the clutter from life's path, we can all make room for the most important aspects of life: health, relationships, passion, growth, and contribution. And I think, you know, yeah, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
When I think minimalism, you know, no two minimalists are alike. You know, there's, in a documentary I watched, there's a family with 4 kids who are minimalists, and there's a guy who has 55 items with a backpack and travels the world, and, you know, a family that, excuse me, lives in a tiny house. You know, and I just bought a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch-style house, and how is that compare to other people. And, you know, minimalism, I think, to me, is anything in my life that brings me joy and adds value. Whether that's items, whether that's relationships, whether that's, you know, every aspect. So adds value, brings joy. And that's how I would define minimalism.
Nothing more.
Yeah.
Nothing less.
No.
Yeah, absolutely nothing more.
Yeah,
We can't add
nothing
any
more.
more to the
We
definition.
can't emphasize
Right.
that enough. Yeah, I think just as a personal anecdote here, my favorite story related to your minimalism is when I mentioned that I bring my lunch in a thermos, and you asked me what a thermos was. And that was
Yep.
baffling to me. And you said you did not know what a thermos was due to your minimalistic lifestyle.
Yeah.
So if that gives anyone an idea of what this
Yeah.
might be. But to expand on that, how is it since you've decided, because has it been a more recent change, would you say?
I'm about 3.5, 4 years in. Yeah.
Yes. So
With the recent house purchase, so yeah, it's been different.
yeah. So what have been the biggest changes in just like your everyday life that you've noticed?
Oof, every day. So, you know, I think new iPhone comes out, everyone wants it, right? New shoes come out, everyone wants it. New clothes comes out, new items. And I think just being a critical consumer every day, you know, you're starting to see the Black Friday, you know, Amazon Prime Day. Whoops, bought a few things. Yes, I know.
No one's perfect.
All add value to my life. I bought an Echo and some lights for my backyard. So I think justifying those purchases for me makes sense. But, you know, I think just day to day, when I was bored, I'd be like, okay, should I go shopping? Should I get the new iPhone? Should I get new shoes? You know, what do I do? And then when I started to get away from that, the shopping and stuff, I found more time to go for a hike or hang out with friends. Or, and, you know, when I decluttered, let's say decluttering and minimalism, people seem to have some battles with. They don't think they're the same. But when I got rid of stuff, you know, it's less time to clean, less time to organize, more time to find value for. So
Yeah, it seems like it's just like speaking to, I mean, I feel like a lot of people, especially younger generations, have issues connecting, like truly connecting with other people because they're so focused on the things and that they have and everything like that. So I feel like that makes sense and that it's a good way to remember what you value most. Because that's what it seems like it is figuring out what is most important to you.
right. Let me ask you a question. So the iOS 14?
Yeah.
14 came out? Yeah. So you got the widgets on your phone?
Yeah.
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 You organized it all nice and neat?
Well,
Yeah. Yeah. So Apple's intention there, perhaps, is to keep the user connected longer. So with minimalism, there's also digital minimalism, and how to reduce screen time and things like that. And especially younger generations or students in our high school, you know, probably have trouble finding time to put the phone down and go somewhere else.
it's very difficult.
And I think when you delete all of the apps from your front screen and only have the most important ones, so when you open your phone, the most important ones are there, you know, that's what you see instead of it's TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you people have. So yeah.
Instead, we can have the news and weather.
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
the news and weather, yes.
See, that's where all my screen time is. I just stare at the weather for hours
Yeah.
and hours.
Really?
I know.
Yeah. I'm kidding, of course. I got my screen time report recently.
Yeah, how was
and
it?
it was so disappointing. It was so disappointing. I looked at it and I was like, oh no. And the worst part is it's sent to my parents with family sharing.
Oh nice.
So I was quite thoroughly embarrassed, but yeah, a lot of
Nice.
lost time.
Yeah, I feel like I always get excited when it says it was down from last week, and then it's like 7 hours, and
Yeah.
I'm like a day. And I was
Right.
like, oh right, okay, so it was more than that last week.
Right.
It's a little embarrassing.
And I think once again, like everything in moderation is good. I'm a huge YouTube fan.
Yeah.
So I love YouTube. And yesterday, actually, I tweeted this on a private Twitter. You know, my personal Twitter. If you all know what that is.
You can plug it if you want.
Yeah, maybe later.
Okay.
I didn't go on YouTube for the first time till like 8 p.m. last night, which is like crazy for me. Usually, that's the first thing I get home. I watch Matt Diavella. He's a minimalist. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, and just that part adds value to my life. So identifying, like you said, Angie, whatever adds value to your life, and then, implementing time for that or finding time for that. Not to say the phones, like you should throw them out, get a flip phone, never have a phone ever again, just finding balance, especially for students here. Yeah.
I definitely feel like, because sometimes I like log out of Snapchat so I am not tempted
Ooh, nice.
to go on. And it's like, I forget how nice it is to just not even worry about it. Something I should do more.
Yeah, and
would recommend.
And like the thing I do is I'll just put my phone in like airplane mode occasionally, which I actually have a funny story with that. There was somebody that I was kind of like talking to for a short period of time, and I put my phone on airplane mode, and when you have it on airplane mode, it won't show that it delivered. So they thought I blocked their number because it didn't show it delivered.
Yeah.
So make sure if you do put your phone on airplane mode as a study tool, communicate to some people that you did not mysteriously block and ghost them. It causes a little bit of confusion, but I think like that's a nice solution, is just to have no notifications, no way of people like getting out to you, because there's that like those notifications are designed to get you to respond as fast as possible.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an addiction almost.
It is.
Do you have notifications on your phones?
I do.
Yeah.
And I have the sound on, which everyone hates me for.
Yeah. I have 0 notifications. My phone's been on silent for 4 years. So, and maybe that's another, my phone's always on silent. No notifications from Instagram, Twitter, messages, everything comes in as silent, phone calls. Nothing on my Apple Watch. I have an Apple Watch for fitness. Still the Generation 1. Because I cannot get myself to buy a new one.
It works.
Yeah,
it works.
Exactly.
But it is very hard to not look at notifications if you get them. But that's why I like, sometimes I don't put my phone on silent, or even like on vibrate, like, because I said I have the sounds on, and everyone's like, you're so annoying because your phone keeps going off. I'm like, but then I don't hear them, and then I feel bad if I don't answer people. But like, that's also the thing, you shouldn't feel bad if you have to take time like to just sit with yourself. And not everything is so incredibly urgent online. Which I feel like sometimes we think it is.
Right.
Okay, moving on. I like that little conversation.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that a lot, because there's that like almost social code to like responding to people in a certain amount of time. Where someone's like, you left me undelivered for an hour, and I was like, I was out in the hot tub. Like, I took some time away from my phone.
Right.
So I think that's just a really interesting like concept for something that we're going through. On that scatterbrain topic. Angie, I'm trying to read
my handwriting.
Okay, so minimalism has an artistic, financial, and environmental benefits. Which one would you say is the most important to you, and how have you noticed these benefits in your life?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I think the one that I was, least expected was the financial. Not going shopping, not wanting the new iPhone, not wanting the next best thing, allowed me to save money. And justifying every purchase, being a critical consumer, allowed me to save money in a roundabout way. It wasn't like, I need to save money, I need to do this for whatever. And I ended up buying a house in last summer, and that was a huge thing because of minimalism. The artistic benefits, I would say, because of clothing and decor, like my house. If you go in my house, in my living room, there's a couch and a TV. My tree is an 8x11 sheet of paper colored on the wall. My Halloween decor was a candle, something that.
Wait. Okay, can you give a little context on the candle? Like, where was it positioned?
I think it was like, I have like a half wall in my living room, so it was like, it says "spooked you" or something.
Spooky candle.
Yeah. It's pretty scary.
But it brought value. It was a decor for the season, but I could get rid of it.
Yeah.
Just like the pumpkins. And in my room, I have a bed. There's no decor on my walls, so I think if you go online and you see minimalist, it's like all this minimalist decor. I mean, that's a way to design. In architecture, you see minimalist designs. But I think for me, it was clothing. And, I wore black for the last however many years because I try to stay under the radar. And wearing black, I think, does that. This is actually my favorite sweatshirt. And, you know, back then it was you go to your closet and you find your favorite clothes. I'm sure both of you have closets full of clothes. And week after week, you go for the same pair of jeans because those fit the best.
True.
And yesterday I was wearing a green Packer sweatshirt, and someone in the hallway was like,
Whoa.
it's like Easter for Milmoe because she's wearing so much color. And then environmental factors, I think, you know, when people come over to my house, I don't have glassware, so they have to bring their own. And I think sometimes they're like, wait, what? So it forces them to bring a to-go cup, because wherever we go, you know, they have water or whatever they would need. And I think those factors I don't really think about as much, but, you know, I'm also a vegetarian. So I think eating minimally is a big benefit as well. So
definitely.
Yeah.
I guess our pretty much like last official question is like, when you switched to this lifestyle, like, how did people around you react? Like, did they think it was weird, or were they like, it's kind of cool, but like not for me?
Yeah. So, you know, I used to hoard things, as I'm sure many of you have. You know, just going through college and, you know, collecting memorabilia and things from childhood and then things from college. You know, and then you just get to this point in your life where you had all this stuff, and then you start to get rid of it, and people are like, wait, you're getting rid of that? Like, you love that. And, you know, I think just coming to that point and donating brought me a lot of joy as well, because I knew somebody else could use it more than me. And, you know, I think instead of throwing away things, donating items was a huge thing for me. But I think people were pretty receptive to it because they didn't have to live it.
Yeah, definitely.
Just, you know, I have 2 forks, 2 bowls, 2 plates. So when people come over, it's, you know, I have to justify that environmental thing. Like, do I buy paper or do I, you know, so, yeah, I think people were okay with it. They don't really have a choice. I'm very individualistic. Yeah.
Could you imagine someone like actually got like vehemently like angry about it?
Yeah.
They're like, no, you're not going minimalist.
You need to buy
5
more
plates,
stuff.
Right. 2 spooky candles in the living room.
Yep.
And I'm gonna ask kind of like a follow-up question for you. When you were donating things, what was the most like? Did you have one specific item that when you donated it was like the most significant to you that you can like remember? Like something that like would be big enough where most people wouldn't be able to like part with it.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. You know, I think it's just, you know, adding memories with items. So, you know, often it's like, oh, I wore that shirt when we did this, or I had, you know, these shoes on when we did that. And, you know, I think that mainly was it. And it was the memories. And then I just had to remember that, you know, the memories are in your head and they're not in items. And that really helped me be able to part ways and kind of move on from, you know, associating items with memories and having them in your brain. So
definitely. Well, this has been a very educational and interesting discussion about minimalism. I mean, I honestly did not know anything about it. The only like time I had seen anything is like online and like Pinterest and being like, this is my minimalist apartment. It was just like white walls. That's like pretty much it. But like I never knew like, I don't know, just like the, I guess, emotional significance and just also the financial and especially environmental benefits. It's just like very interesting. And so
I mean, and
any thoughts?
I would like to say that Angie, you should get on
with the all black.
join the train, because Milmoe and I are clearly on the same
right.
I should have prepared for this episode.
Wait, bump my mic a little bit. Okay, so Ms. Milmoe, if you had a small challenge for some of our viewers, like something that they could do to incorporate minimalism in just a little bit into their lives, what would you suggest that they do for this week?
You know, I think it's hard as teenagers living in your, perhaps whoever you live with's home, to make a huge change. But I think clothing would be one, you know, finding one piece of clothing or a few pieces of clothing or an outfit that you could donate. would be helpful, and also maybe digital minimalism, and finding a way to, separate, that screen time and finding time that adds value to your life, but also, finding time for things that bring you joy throughout your, phone or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Choose your screen time wisely.
Yeah.
Take a look at the breakdown.
Oh,
Analyze it.
yeah, and if you actually look at the breakdown, it helps you kind of like
yeah.
It helps you self-reflect on some very embarrassing things about yourself.
Yeah, and like the weirdest ones is when you find out that you spent like 3 hours on an app that you're like, wow, 3 hours.
Yeah, especially when it's like a game app that you're going through like a phase of, and you're like, wow, I wasted my time.
An Angry Birds resurgence that you want to try to ignore.
Exactly. Or if you're Blake, the weather app.
Ooh, right.
Yeah, it's
very
always
important.
exciting to know what's going on in different parts of the world.
And the air quality.
That is true.
Yeah. I would say that I have one last question, which is the most important question. And Blake and I were pondering this last night for hours.
I know what she's going to say. I
Oh,
definitely
boy.
remember this.
Oh boy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I can tell you know what I'm saying. In your minimalist lifestyle, do you enjoy the occasional Dorito chip from time to time?
Oh, yeah.
This is only part one of the question.
Yeah.
But
how many parts are there?
only two.
Perhaps, yes.
Okay.
In moderation.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What is the best flavor of Doritos?
This is controversial.
It's incredibly controversial.
Yeah, this one make it mad.
I think the Cool Ranch, is that what they're called?
Yes, that is.
Yeah.
Like,
The
what are
eye
your
roll
thoughts on
I don't
this?
think was.
That's the correct answer.
Yes, okay.
See,
According
we
to one
matched,
source.
and we're matching Doritos.
Okay,
flavors
clearly
right now.
you're just trying to be her.
Maybe I did my research for the episode.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Well, who wrote the question?
Oh, we don't need to discuss that. What's your favorite flavor of Dorito? Angie?
I have to say, I think it's sweet spicy chili, which is, I feel like it's not well known, but it is so underrated. It's so good. I know I have peers who agree,
Oh, interesting.
but yeah, I feel as if this question will start civil wars one day.
Wow.
Multiple wars.
Plural. Wars plural.
Yep,
Wow.
it's pretty important.
I'll have to give it a try.
I think they're good. If you like spicy, they're not very spicy, but it's spicy and sweet, so best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
They're in a purple bag, which I also think is tight. So, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, so what we learned today is minimalism is an interesting way to make room for important things in your life. 2, it's the kids that keeps Miss Milmoe going. 3, purple bags of sweet and spicy chips will one day cause civil wars plural.
It will.
It will.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was a pretty successful episode.
I would say so too. For
I would
our
say so.
first official episode with our first official guest.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did a pretty good
When
job.
I first heard the podcast was coming to over the announcements is when I first heard it, and I think I jumped out of my seat because I was so excited. What an awesome opportunity for you and Angie and just students in general here and Joel to have a different role. So yeah.
So this has been the Interrogation Room.
Yes, it
has.
has.
It has.
Yeah. Well,
So, as a reminder, I'm Angie Bloechl,
and I'm Blake Martin.
and we would love to give a special thank you to Joel, which you cannot see currently. Maybe
Yeah.
if he moves,
Yeah.
but
You can't
he
see
is.
me, but
he
you
is
know
our,
I'm here.
Yes.
Yes.
He's our token tech guy. So,
Yeah.
he is the brains behind the operation. So, wanted to give a quick shout out to that.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you again for coming on our show. It was fantastic to have you. And thank you all for listening, and have a great rest of your day.